Hi, my name is Shan and welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and Books. Today I'm going to be discussing the books that I read in February, and if you saw my last wrap up video, which I only just uploaded because I was slack towards the end of January, I did my wrap up a bit differently where I did my makeup at the same time. That way I felt less pressure about reviewing the books because it's just us here doing our makeup, hanging out, and it was just chill vibes. Which, by the way, thank you to everyone who commented on that and said that you liked that style of video, and the people that said that it was like chill vibes, because that's what I was going for. Just relaxed, we're hanging out, we're doing our makeup, and we're talking about books. So before I start talking about the makeup, because I know not everyone's going to care about that, let's talk about my bookish stats for the month. So I did read 12 books in February, which honestly I'm super proud of myself because I did not have a good February. So the fact that I actually read 12 books and it's a short month, like wow. And I showed last month my in my journal, which I'll leave linked to my journaling videos, but I track my pages read in 2 spots in my journal. So in one I have a monthly tracker, which I did have to go look, we changed it for March, but I did have to go like off the graph. But I have, yeah, this like column bar situation, and that is just for the month. But I also have like a yearly overview one where I color in the little pixel square based on how many pages I read. If I read 0 pages, I color it blue. If I read between 1 and 50, I color it green, so on and so forth. And I've been really enjoying seeing like the overall view of that. So yeah, like I said, I read 12 books. And my total number of pages for the month was 3,891. There were only 2 days in February where I read 0 pages, which is amazing considering just February in general. And one of the days that I read no pages was just the worst day that I've had in a long time. So there were 3 days that I read between 1 and 50 pages, 5 days that I read between 51 and 100 pages, 6 days that I read between 101 and 150 pages, weirdly enough 0 days for 151 to 200, and 12 days that I read over 200 pages in a day. So I think that's how I got a lot of books read, is that I had a lot of days where I just read a bunch in the one day, which is amazing. But yeah, there's my stats for the month, and let's get into talking about the books. I did participate in Blackathon, or I was like low-key participating, and I was doing the contemporary non-fiction literary team, because there were teams. I don't have a mirror because I am hopeless. Hold on. So if you saw last month, I tested out Kmart makeup, which is the brand OXX Cosmetics, because their stuff is ridiculously cheap. Like, they have stuff for $1. A bunch of the stuff that I got was $2. I think the most I paid for something was $6. So I'm going to be using their makeup again, but this time I've got their brushes to try out, because their brushes were also really cheap. So I'm going to use the same makeup, but I did pick up a few new things. So I have a different eyeshadow palette. This one is Amber, and I have 2 different lipsticks to try. Last time I used this one, so I have the same type of liquid lipstick in a red color, or I have like the bullet lipstick, which smells like food. It smells like some sort of sweet. And yeah, I have a bunch of brushes to try out today, which absolute bargain. Let me first talk about the number 1 bargain that I got. I'm sorry if you don't care about this, but this little brush trio set was $4. I just randomly saw it and it wasn't like near a price tag, and when I scanned it at the checkout it was $4. So that's a steal. And the most expensive ones are these OXX Studio ones, so the large angled powder brush and the buffing complexion brush. They were $10 each, which is the most expensive thing, which for a makeup brush that's still okay. And this smoky eye set was $10 for the 3 of them. And then I have these type of brushes in these packaging, and this one was $3. And then I got a couple of these powder brushes that were $2 each. So $2 for a brush. Let's hope it's good, because that's a bargain. Hold on, let me open these packagings. Okay, I need to go fast because my child is already getting upset with what he's doing. So I'm using the same 2 foundations because neither of them match me, but this was all I had, so I'm going to mix them together. But last time when I looked at the footage back, they actually matched pretty well. So the first book that I read in the month of February was They Never Learn by Lane Fargo. And if I ever get around to finishing the reading blog that I've been working on, this will be in it. Okay, I'm going to use this buffing brush for the foundation, I think. Oh, I didn't mix them together, that's why. No, it feels pretty soft. Should I have washed these brushes first? Probably, but whatever. We're unhygienic today. Yeah, so They Never Learn is a thriller book, and we are following this main character who at the beginning we find out is murdering these college boys who are mistreating women. So, you know, love that. And we're also getting alternate chapters in the perspective of this younger college girl who is like fairly shy, and I feel like it was really good and accurate representation of being really socially anxious, because I can definitely relate to how she was feeling in certain social situations and feeling like people were laughing at her or looking at her. And this was like a really interesting thriller, mystery, whatever, because we obviously know who the murderer is from the start, because we're following the perspective of the murderer. And this one has been getting a lot of hype. I've been seeing heaps of people loving it, and I do agree with them. I gave it 5 stars, and yeah, I thought it was a really interesting and fast-paced book, and it was really interesting to be following the character that is doing the murders. Okay, I don't like this brush for concealer, but whatever. Too late now. Okay, I need to be better about washing these brushes before they get disgustingly dirty like they were before. I'm using the same concealer stick to do the contouring. Oh yeah, and They Never Learn was also my buzzwordathon book, because the buzzword was pronouns. So yeah, checked off that goal for the month to do my buzzwordathon, which is great. I'm just going to use this other buffing brush. The second book that I read was the group book for the Blackathon for my team, which was Black Girls Must Die Exhausted. And this one, while it was an enjoyable read, like I really enjoyed it, I did have like a lot of things that I didn't enjoy as well. So I did write a Goodreads review for this one if you want to read my thoughts in case I forget anything. But yeah, we're following this girl who, I guess she's kind of struggling in the fact that she wants to be in a certain place in her life at this age, because I think she's in her 30s, which I definitely enjoy reading from characters who are older. I'm going to use this same translucent setting powder with the big brush that came in the set. So yeah, she definitely wants to be, I guess, like starting a family, and she has a boyfriend and stuff. But in the opening chapter, she finds out that she has some fertility issues, which mean that if she doesn't have a baby in the next 6 months, she's probably not going to be able to have one ever, like of her own, and actually physically carry it herself. So obviously she's super upset because she does want to be a mum, but she's not really in a position in her life where she's about to start trying. Like, she has a boyfriend, but they've only been together for a year, stuff like that. There's also a lot of talk about race, because in her job she is going up against this other male co-worker for a promotion. So there's lots of talk about race in the workplace and promotions and stuff. So that was also another good thing. I forgot that I'm using a cream blush and I've already used powder. Can I do that? The thing that kind of bothered me is, one, when she tells her friends about this whole baby situation, because her boyfriend isn't ready to have children. One of her friends in particular, suggests that she should just go off her birth control and just trick him and just like get pregnant on purpose, even though he said he doesn't want to, which that was never called out as being wrong. There's also a lot of cheating in this, so trigger warning for that. The thing that really bothered me about this book was not really to do with the actual storyline. It was the fact that the character would go through something, so we read about it as it occurs, and then she tells that story to her friends to get their reactions, so we read about her telling them, and she tells that story to her grandma, so we read about her telling the grandma to get the grandma's reaction, you know, and then she tells the story to her dad to see what her dad says, and then we read about it again. Like, we have to read the same scene multiple times, and it got really repetitive for me. So if it wasn't for that, I probably would have enjoyed it a bit more. I don't think, am I meant to put this straight on my face? I still don't know. I don't think so, because I feel like that's gonna just rub off everything underneath, but you know what, I'm not a professional here, so looking for professional makeup tutorials, this isn't the place. Yeah, so I ended up giving it a 3 because I definitely did enjoy the story. It was really fast and quick to read. Really enjoyed the characters, but yeah, the repetitiveness was just really getting on my nerves. I think I can hear Kian getting fussy out there. Next up, I read Love and Other Disasters, which I was reading for the NB Book Club because that's their book club pick for February. Actually, I need to look up when the live show is. Hopefully I haven't missed it. And this one is a romance, which I don't read a lot of. I'm going to use this same highlighter. I'm going to use the fan brush. Kian's fussing. I might have to come back later. Okay, so I didn't really like this highlighter last time. It was like really chunky glitter, but we'll see with the fan brush. So Love and Other Disasters is a romance, which I don't read a lot of romance, and I still don't like this highlighter. Yeah, I don't like it. Anyway, I don't always read romance. I'm not a huge romance reader, but I did really enjoy this one. I thought that it was really sweet and cute. It is following these two characters who go on to this cooking reality TV show, and obviously it's romance, so they end up falling in love. One of the characters is just recently divorced, and so yeah, she's on her own for the first time in her life without being with her husband, and the other main character is non-binary, and they come out as non-binary on TV, and there's a lot of discussions about, I guess, people's opinions about that. There are some other contestants on the show that say some certain things that is just like, But yeah, I actually thought that this was really cute and sweet. I know I have seen some reviews, I think, where people didn't love it, but I personally did, and I really liked the steamy scenes. I thought they were great, and yeah, I really liked reading a romance with a non-binary main character because I don't think I have read any or many. Okay, I'm gonna use the same eyebrow pen, and the next book that I read was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, which was another mystery thriller. This one's more of a domestic mystery. It is basically these two husband and wife main characters. What am I saying? They are going through a bit of a rough patch in their marriage, and uh-oh, I made a mistake. Whatever. I don't really like this pen. I feel like it works and then it doesn't work. Anyway, they end up going on this trip, and it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, and it's snowing, and yeah, basically, obviously it's a mystery thriller, so we know something's going to go down, but we're just trying to figure out, I guess, who is the person behind it all and what is actually the thing that's going to go down. Is someone going to get murdered? Is something going to happen? And yeah, I thought it was really fast paced, but looking back on it, after I finished it, I thought, oh yeah, that was really enjoyable. Maybe it's a 5-star book, but looking back, I don't think it's a book that I'm going to think about all too often. Some of the things in it were a bit predictable. There were some twists that were more shocking, but yeah, it was definitely a quick, fast-paced thriller. I enjoyed it. I think I'm giving it 4 stars, but yeah, like I said, it's not one that I'm going to be thinking about a lot, I think. I don't know. My ratings are weird. Next up, I read Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, and this was the Literally Dead book club pick for the month, which again, I don't know when their live show is. Have I missed it? But anyway, I'm going to use this eyeshadow palette, which is the same as the other one, but it's different shades. I can hear Kian. And Razorblade Tears is, I think, my favorite book that I've read all year. So do with that information what you will. Can hear him yelling. But this basically follows these two dads, and their sons were married to each other. One is black and one is white, and their sons were murdered. So these two dads decide to, I guess, kind of figure out what the heck happened, because the police have no idea what's going on, and yeah, obviously they have just lost their sons, so they're not super happy about that. They also, I guess, have a bit of guilt because they weren't accepting of their son's relationship. And I have seen people commenting saying they hate that they only, you know, felt like they had to fight for their sons once the sons were dead, which I can totally understand, but I feel like they represent real life people, real life characters. That's like a human thing. There are people who have shitty reactions to gay couples, clearly, even if it's their own children, and they regretted it, but they missed their chance to tell their children that they accept them because unfortunately they died. This is not a thriller that's going to be for everyone because it was very gory in the sense of the violence. These dads are going out to basically get revenge on the person that took their sons from them, and they have both been in jail themselves, the fathers, and they are not holding back from using physical violence to get answers. So if you do not want to read about that, then this won't be for you. So I can totally understand why it's not for some people, but I thought it was amazing. Again, this will, I think, be in a vlog, but I think say in the vlog that it felt like a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, this feels like a movie. This needs to be a movie. But yeah, I think it's my favorite book that I've read so far this year, and I obviously gave it 5 stars. But yes, can totally see why some people didn't like it, but definitely need to read more from this author. Which, it's funny because I don't particularly like gory violence movies, but yeah, this book, and it really just pulled on my heartstrings and ended up feeling things for these characters who weren't really, like, these two dads weren't really the best people. One is like kind of racist. They obviously both have some homophobic opinions, and we do obviously see them grow throughout the book, but it's just like the fact that this author got me to care about these two characters who aren't perfect people. I loved it so much. And yeah, if it sounds like something that you would like, then definitely give it a go. The next book that I read was a buddy read with my friend Sasha. Kian's gonna come and ruin things now. But we read Wahala, which Sasha was actually the person who told me about this book coming out this year. And she messaged me and said, this sounds like something you would like, and it was. I also saw Books and Lala compare it to Big Little Lies in her wrap-up video, which, if you know, Big Little Lies was my favourite book of last year. I didn't love it as much as Big Little Lies, unfortunately, but I did still enjoy it, and I gave it 4 stars. It's basically these... It is basically these women that are mixed race. They are Nigerian and British, and they're living in Britain. This also made me realize how much I am enjoying reading from older characters who are dealing with more adult problems. And yeah, I'm really straying away from the young adult and even the college aged main characters. But yeah, it is about these women, and this other Nigerian woman comes into their lives from one of the girls' past, and she is like causing trouble. And yeah, I honestly don't really want to say what it's about because I didn't really know, and I feel like that was good. But yeah, they were all dealing with their own stuff. There was like discussion about feeling really exhausted as a mother and unfulfilled with being a stay-at-home mum. There was some discussions about not wanting to have children and feeling the pressure that as a woman you have to have children, and sometimes you just don't want to have kids. There were discussions about infidelity within a relationship. There was just lots happening in the book. All of the women had these whole lives going on. I really felt like I knew each of the women, so that was amazing. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I just didn't feel like it was a 5-star book. Next up, I'm not going to say too much, it is Will Smith's memoir, which I don't often read celebrity books, but I love Will Smith. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is one of my all-time favourite TV shows. So when he came out with his memoir, I definitely knew I wanted to read it. I also listened to the audiobook along with it, which I recommend because, oh my god, he's putting makeup on his face. Yeah, which I do recommend because obviously he narrates it, so it's good listening to his voice reading out his stories of his life. Oh gosh. Yeah, anyway, moving on. Oh, and I didn't rate that because it was a memoir. Next up, I read Grown by... No. Next up, I read Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson, which is probably my second favourite book so far. Monday's Not Coming was also my second favourite of the year last year, so I think Tiffany D. Jackson is one of my all-time favourite authors now, even though I've only read 2 books by her, but they've both been amazing. Okay, hang on, I need to deal with this. Okay, I need to be quick because my child. But yes, Grown is kind of a similar situation to the R. Kelly stuff. She did say in the back that it wasn't like a retelling of that, but it's clear that's where the inspiration came from. I'm going to try out this matte lipstick first, which is in the shade Envy, and then I'm going to try the red one. But yes, gave this 5 stars. It was amazing. It is this young girl who gets approached by this older male music artist, and yeah, she gets, I guess, taken under his wing, but he's basically grooming her. She's underage, and the parents consent to her going on tour with him, thinking it's one thing, but he ends up basically just holding her hostage and really mistreating her. And this book, Tiffany D. Jackson just makes you feel things. And this lipstick smells like some sort of lolly. Like, I literally want to eat it. I'm not joking. Okay, that colour seems okay. I'm not mad at it. Yes. What was I saying? I don't remember. Okay, so I'm going to remove this lipstick now and try the red one. The next book that I read is Watch Over Me by Nina Lakua, which this is really dealing with trauma and accepting your trauma and dealing with it. It follows this young girl who has just kind of aged out of the foster care system, and she applies to go and live on this farm, which is kind of like this cult, and she's going to teach the younger kids. But yeah, the 2 husband and wife that run it basically take in these foster children, and there's like this ghosty aspect, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars, but again, this is another one that is not going to be for everyone. Not everyone is going to like the, I don't know, I guess ghost aspect, I guess maybe. Well, that's what I think personally, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked the writing style and like the way that it wasn't so direct with what it was, I guess, portraying when it came to the concept of the trauma. I don't know, I'm probably not explaining it very well, which is why I'm doing my wrap-ups in this style, because I'm bad at talking about books. But I gave it 5 stars and I enjoyed it, so you can do whatever you want with that information. Okay, so I'm gonna use this red one, which is the shade Fiery. And the next book that I read is Acts of Desperation, which is, of course, a recommendation that I got from Jam. I think she's like the only person I've seen talk about this one. And this one is, I gave it 5 stars. It is basically this main character who herself, I don't know how to explain it, like she has this want and need to be loved by men, but she also has this desire and need, I guess, to be mistreated in a way. So she has this very unhealthy way of being in relationships, and she gets mistreated a lot in this book. She makes some not great decisions. But yeah, I did end up giving this book 5 stars, and I think there were a lot of quotes that were really powerful within it. But yeah, the main character was messy, to say the least. But yeah, this one did also make me cry. There was one line that I read and I just burst into tears directly after I read it. Okay, this is really representative of the chaos that we talk about, but I do have 2 more books to talk about. Kian's back though, so hold on. Okay, my thoughts about the brushes. I didn't use all of them. I didn't use these $2 ones, but they get the job done and they're cheap. So perfect. But yes, I have 2 more books, like I said. The next book that I read in February was Amari and the Night Brothers, which I finally got to. I started this last year when it was a book club pick for the We're All Booked book club, and then I went into a huge reading slump, can't pull my bookmark out. I didn't know where I was up to, so then I just really lost motivation. But everyone has been loving this book. I feel like I just see all positive reviews for it, and I definitely agree that it is a great book. It is a middle grade about this girl who has a brother who was gone missing, and she ends up getting this package from him which leads her to this whole separate world of magic and supernatural things. And yeah, it's a middle grade fantasy that I thought was really great and really well done. I feel like it's maybe like a 4.5, 4, I don't know. I did really enjoy it, but I don't know, maybe it was just my reading at the time, but I just felt like I wasn't fully invested in some parts, but that could just be me tuning out because I just wasn't with it. So definitely still recommend it, but I still think I prefer, or do I prefer Nevermore more? I don't know, I need to reread that one. Anyways, the last book that I read in February was You and Me on Vacation, also known as People We Meet on Vacation. It got a separate cover and a separate title here compared to the US. Another super hyped one. I did read Beach Read last month in January, and I did not like You and Me on Vacation as much as everyone else. I don't know, again, was it just my reading time like wasn't good, a good time for me to read it or something, because I feel like everyone just absolutely adores this book, and I gave it a 3-star rating. I honestly don't think it's gonna be something I think about a lot. It is a romance, and romance isn't like my main favorite genre, but I just feel like there were so many more romances that I enjoyed more than this one, and I think what it might be is I don't think I like Friends to Lovers, maybe, or I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't super enjoying it, and I think I preferred Beach Read. I will still pick up Emily Henry's next book that she comes out with, but yeah, it is basically these two friends who go on like a summer trip together every year, but they haven't been on one in a couple of years because something happened, and yeah, they go on a trip this current year in current time, and we're getting chapters at their current trip and then flashbacks to each summer, I guess, leading up to this event that happened. So yeah, they were friends and then they kind of had a falling out, so it is, yeah, obviously Friends to Lovers. And yeah, there's not much to say about it because it's a romance book, so we know there's obviously love involved, but yeah, I'm sad that I didn't love this one as much as everyone else. I do prefer Beach Read more, but there's so many more romances that I liked more than Emily Henry's books. So let me know if you had a similar opinion about that book, because I don't know. Or if you have romances that you preferred over the Emily Henry ones, let me know, because I have been in a bit of a romance mood lately, and I would be interested in picking up some more. But yeah, I'm sad that I didn't like this one. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I will hopefully be having lots of videos that come out in the month of March, because it is Tis the Damn Readathon, which I'm trying to do my best to vlog. There's also Careedathon that's happening, and I have planned out all of my videos in my journal that I would like to post. Whether or not I get the time to film them, edit them and upload them is another story, but I'm gonna do my best, guys. Thank you to everyone who has left really nice comments. It really means the world to me. If you made it this far in the video, leave a vacation-y emoji, because You and Me on Vacation is the last book that I talked about. But yeah, also recommend me some of your favorite romance books, so feel free to send recommendations my way. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone who is here. Sorry this was really chaotic. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing these get ready with me and talk about books wrap-ups, because honestly it was kind of hard today, but I think next time I'll do it when he's like asleep or something. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video, which will hopefully be that vlog that I keep talking about that I've been working on since January. I'm tired. Bye.